Okay, real quick lighting breakdown video. Pretty simple lighting setup, but just wrapped up a fun little spec project, actually really to test out these laowa Proteus lenses that I love, but that's not what this video is about. This video is a lighting breakdown of a particular scene of the spec ad. So let's real quick roll the spec ad and then we will go ahead and do the lighting breakdown.
I'm living on the bright side, looking for that good life. Everything is alright, riding on that golden wave, swimming in the fresh blue, glossy feeling brand new. Sun is about to break through. Ooh, I love the world today. I'm living on the bright side. I'm living on the bright side.
So as you can see, kind of a fast-paced edit, super like fun, good vibes, all that kind of stuff, and kind of wanted to have a few different types of scenes that I felt like really embraced the vibe of the product and the vibe of kind of where the product is from, which is Charleston, which is kind of cool, local brand. And I wanted to have one night scene to kind of make it, you know, like, oh, this product is like great for like an evening party or like an evening outing or whatever. So I used frame set to kind of mood board this thing out. And this is the reference image that I pulled from frame sets that I would kind of wanted to use as my motivation for this project, for this particular scene. Just really warm, inviting, and just kind of a nice like outdoor terrace, whether it's a restaurant or a patio by, you know, someone's house or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of what I wanted to play off of. I knew that I wanted to shoot it here because this was my house that I'm renting. So it was a really easy location to confirm and to be able to use. So that was the reference image. So from there, what I wanted to do is just try to mimic it. Obviously, the first thing that you see in the reference image was the cafe lights. So I went to Walmart and bought 3 or 4 boxes of these cafe lights, and I intentionally went with tungsten ones, like actual light bulbs, because I did not want to have any worry of flicker or anything, because I knew this was going to be very fast paced. To give you some background, number one, when I scheduled everybody to come here, was kind of a week beforehand. So a week beforehand, a hurricane coming through Charleston actually ended up kind of being a tropical storm, but we had a tropical storm the day after the shoot, so weather was already starting to roll in. And then I was filming a scene just before this scene, the dock scene that you saw with the couple taking pictures and dancing. Filmed that right beforehand, so I knew I needed to have a quick setup and tear down, and I knew that I did a pre-light the night before just to kind of make sure that things looked somewhat good before I went full send on this. But I also had to tear everything down because it rained when I did the pre-light. So I had to tear that down, and I had to reset everything for the shoot beforehand. So a lot of craziness. That's kind of the background of how this went down. I might do a full breakdown of this spec if people are interested, but that's kind of what I was working with regards to timing and everything. So back to the cafe lights. I set those up. I used some C-stands to kind of hang them so I could get them like off of the trees, because there's nowhere to actually hang any cafe lights in this little patio area. So I just used some C-stands to set those up, and that's actually what took the longest, because I'd set them up and then I'd go over and see what my framing looked like using the CAD Rage app, which is an awesome app. Actually, Blaine Westrop just made a video about it, and it's awesome. And it just looked really wonky. So I readjusted like 3 or 4 times until I got the lights looking the way I wanted to look on camera. So once I got that all set up and I was happy with that, then was moving in the key light. For the key light, I used an Amaran F22C, set it to 3700 Kelvin, and I used the F22 lantern, which is amazing, and just used that, and I rolled up each side of the skirt for the lantern so that I could have that exposure of that light just spill everywhere I could to give exposure, because it's, you know, I made sure intentionally to shoot this after the sun had completely set and it was dark outside, because I didn't want to see like any other houses in the background or anything like that. So F22C was my key light with the lantern, again having as much exposure as I could. So we've got the cafe lights. Those are giving us practicals that are motivation for the key light, and they're also giving a nice little edge light to the talent and giving a little bit of exposure as well to the trees in the patio. And then lastly, we just had one more light, and that was the Amaran 300C, and I set that to 7500 Kelvin just to get like kind of a moonlight feel, just like nice color contrast. And I put that in the Light Dome Mark II and just put it up really high just to kind of mimic moonlight coming through. It's not super overbearing, but it just adds nice little color contrasts, quick little shots. Like, you may not even notice it, but it's just like, it gave me that peace of mind that it gave some exposure to the rest of the area behind the trees, so that, you know, it didn't look like I was just filming in, you know, into an abyss. And I wanted to give a little bit of exposure and color contrast in some particular shots, and it actually did. It goes by so quickly in the actual edit that you probably didn't even notice, but it ended up looking really good, and I'm really glad that I added that last little light in just to kind of give a little bit of exposure. So that's pretty much it. That's all I did. There were basically the practicals, the key light, and that other light, and that's all I did. There were some times where I wish I could have moved that key light around a little bit, and in fact I put it on a combo stand with casters so that I could roll it around, but it was just so fast paced, and it was actually starting to rain when I was filming this, so I didn't want to have to like reset the light, because I wanted to reset the light a couple times, the key light, just to like for particular shots and, you know, detail shots and whatnot. But it was so fast paced, and it was super hot outside, and everybody that came over to help out with this was just like friends of mine, and they were really cool about it, and I didn't want to like completely, you know, make them melt out in the heat. So that's pretty much it. That's all I did. Hope you found that helpful, useful. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and appreciate you watching. Comment down below what you would have changed. I know I would have changed one thing, and that would have been how hot I had the key light. I wish I'd have brought that down just a hair. But you live and learn, and you know, that's why we do spec projects, to learn and build our portfolio. And I'm still super stoked on how this turned out. And then otherwise, if I could have, you know, I would have definitely added more lights here and there to spruce things up, but I was working with like literally zero budget, and I was trying not to freak out my neighbors too much with all these lights, because I kind of like told them like that day, like, hey, by the way, you're gonna see a couple lights, but it's not a big deal. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and if you want to see like a full breakdown of this spec project, let me know down in the comments, and if there's enough interest, actually it doesn't matter what the interest is, I'll probably do a breakdown anyways, because it's my life. So appreciate you watching, and hope to see you down in the comments and in the next video. Peace.